I wanted to start this video with repeating something, that is, every concept that we learn on each of the video, they are going to build on top of each other. So I wanted to make sure that you're comfortable with the previous thing that we learned so that um, we can move forward. So previously we learned how to declare a string variable and how to print them in the console. In this tutorial, we are going to ask user for a name, like they are going to type it on the keyboard, and then we are going to just say hello or whatever name they type. And just like before, I'm going to delete what I have so we can start from the beginning. And I'm going to name this ask name and enter. So just like any other tutorial, I see public class ask name, opening closing curly braces, and here I also need main method. So I'm going to type that public static void main, open closing parenthesis string, and then opening and closing bracket, and then argument, type opening and closing parenthesis for main method. And over here we are going to write the program, so inside line number 3. So in order to ask for user input, we have to use library that is already provided by Java. We could write our own method, but it's extremely difficult and it's time consuming. So whenever we can use something that is already provided by Java, we have to utilize that because it saves repetition and it saves a lot of time. So in order to ask for user input, we have to use something called scanner class, and scanner class will help us ask user input. So in order to use scanner class, I need to tell Java, hey Java, I wanted to use scanner class, can you please make that available? If we do not tell them, Java doesn't know what scanner is, so you have to say, hey Java, just I want to use scanner, make this available to my program. And in order to do that, we have to use something called import statement. So I'm going to type import and java.util.scanner. So just like that. So it's java.util.scanner. Now we can use this scanner class that is going to help us ask for user input. So I'm going to say just like any other variable, the variable that I'm about to create is the scanner class variable. So I'll say scanner input. You can name anything. It can be input or ask, or it can be anything. And I'm going to set this to new scanner. And on the parenthesis, I have to tell how does Java want the input. So we want input from the keyboard. So in order to say that we want input from our keyboard, we have to say system dot input stream. In Java, input stream means anything like like it's, think of it like a keyboard. So what we just did here is that we said, hey Java, we want to use scanner class because we are going to ask for user input. And then after that, using import statement, we did that. And after that, we said we created a new variable that we can utilize to ask for the user input. So on the next line, I'm going to create a string and name. So I'm creating a string variable called name, and I'm going to say, okay, actually before this, let's print a message to the console saying system.out.println, and we'll say what is your name, and then make sure that you put semicolon. And on this line we are going to say string name is going to be, so it's going to display what is your name, and we are going to store whatever user type inside this variable called name. And the way to ask is input dot next input dot next. So input dot next method, this next opening and closing bracket is called a method. We are going to learn about how to create our own custom method in future, but for now you just have to bear with me. So here what we did was we created a variable name of type string, and that is equal to whatever user type on their keyboard. Whatever value is going to be stored in the variable called name. And right after that I'm going to say system.out.println, and here I can say hello, comma, and whatever user typed. So let's go ahead and run this program. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put static here, that's why I'm not able to run it. So once I put public static, I'll see this green button, and I click here and run it. So as you can see, it says what is your name. Now this is going to let us type using our keyboard. So let me type John and then hit enter, and look at that, it says hello John. If I run it again, and let's say this time I'll just type something like Mike, and then it says hello Mike. So this is how you ask Java to use your keyboard so that it can print whatever you want in the console. It's basically, it's called a user input. So this is all for this tutorial. I'm pretty sure this is confusing. You're probably wondering what the hell is this scanner and why do you need to say new and all that. But once we learn about class and object, this is going to make sense. But for now, just you just have to bear with me, and once we start learning about class, object, and object-oriented programming, this is all going to make sense. So stick with me, and this all will make sense definitely. But in the high level, this is how you get the user input and print it to the console. So this is all for this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching.